We'll go into the Psychology Today article.
Yeah, I'll pull that up.
Feeling down? Play a little Pokemon Go. Yeah, because I figured it would be a good tagline and might find a few random people.
Yeah. Can't believe it's been 4 years since that nonsense, but whatever.
Yeah. Yep.
It was, and it came out like right after the hype, the super hype for the initial launch of the game died off. So way to be just totally out of touch.
Well, there was a guy from my local group that named his character Bernie Sanders because he was a college kid and knew that, okay, other college kids might be playing, or other people that are going to be voting will be playing Pokemon Go at least. So they'll be able to see the avatar and think, oh, Bernie Sanders, interesting.
Of course, now it's been... Is he still Bernie Sanders 4 years later? Should be.
He changed his name the beginning, I forget exactly when, but he changed it to, like, I think B. Sanders 2020.
Whoa.
Or 2K20.
Right, I got you.
So he basically changed it up a little bit.
Just updated it.
So in the article, it talks about Pokemon Go being the most popular free augmented reality mobile game ever.
That's pretty specific.
Yeah. Well, when you break it down like that, yeah, it's going to be number one. And it has generated 445 million since its release in 2016.
Good.
As to be expected, because they know how to get us for everything.
Yeah, for real.
But
and this is a week-old article that was probably based on data that was at least a week old when she collected it. So they may have easily have hit 450 million at this point.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, there's no question about that. They haven't done too many crazy things.
I wonder when this 445 million was actually collected. Like when was the data?
The data was by IQBAL 2020.
Okay, so that 445 million
reference
is from an article back in July. So it's definitely surpassed it at this point.
Business of apps. Yeah, so it basically talks about everything from here, and it notes all the changes that Niantic actually had done during the COVID-19 downtime and everything, because because Pokemon Go still allowed for players to play with a few restrictions, but they could still play, and now they finally have a presence on Twitch too. So, the many common benefits they note on here: standard play, including being outside, light exercise, and enhancing social ties, which is kind of what we talked about before, which was if you need an icebreaker to talk with people, if you're an introvert, if you're a gamer, if you like Pokemon, guess what? You can lure them to a Pokestop. If a raid's happening, if there's a raid happening, then you can easily show up to the raid, participate in there. And in community days, that's the easiest thing right there. How many shinies you got? Get any shinies yet? All these different things.
How's your shiny luck today?
And the very simple one, how's your day going?
Yeah.
It's easy icebreakers that a lot of introverted or a lot of gamers, they kind of need, especially considering how toxic other video game communities are. And in some aspects, Pokemon Go communities can be toxic, according to some creators or streamers or other people out there. But once again, that always happens when you have your keyboard warriors. Basically, anyone that's hiding behind a keyboard, able to type in a comment, and they can just delete the account afterwards, or if their internet security is a bit off or on point, then they don't have any way to be traced back. So they can leave their thing and then just nail them and sail them.
Yeah, and I think a reason too, you were just highlighting the keyboard warrior aspect of the negativity that you get online because of anonymity.
Mm-hmm.
That's really tough to do in Pokemon.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, there's the forums and the Silph Road and Reddit and all that stuff that you can kind of whatever. Yep. People can be dicks online, but it's face to face, man. People tend to back themselves down pretty quickly.
Exactly.
So,
and there's even been some spoofers that have tried to reform, quote unquote, say that they don't spoof anymore and then participate in the Silph League arena and everything, which the Silph League has
no mercy for spoofers.
Exactly. No mercy. Because honestly speaking, they've already had the advantage for anything and everything. And they're the reason why everyone's phone dies. Because Niantic had to implement a code and do everything that they could to stop them from spoofing, and they finally stopped spoofing, which is good, but everyone's phones are still dying because of it. In addition to, they still have all of that Stardust, all of those Pokemon. So unless the player starts a brand new account, deletes the other account, then there is no reformation afterwards. They can still be plenty active in GBL because you can play on there with some heavily active players, which those heavily active players may have been playing to the level of the spoofer, but they actually live in an urban area, and they have that amount of spawns.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, if you're playing Silph League with your local community, they have the same advantages as you do, where if you want to hit the Pokestops all the time and stock up, level up, and go from there, you have the same advantages there. A spoofer that lives in the same area, but spoofed to Japan or Europe, where there's a cluster of 15 Pokestops, and they could literally just sit there and catch everything under the sun. All the players being out and about reduces the likelihood of the keyboard warriors. Mm-hmm. You still get a few of them, but when you see that person out on Community Day catching the same Pokemon as you, you can easily call them out, or they just reframe their situation, or they get ousted by the group.
Yes, they do.
Ingress and Pokemon Go players are notorious for finding out if a person is playing the incorrect way, and they'll be shunned. They'll be out of the group. They'll be kicked. I've even had people where it's been on a Facebook Messenger. The group won't tell the person, but they'll start inviting all the other people to the new group and then make it seem like, oh, the chat died out, no one's playing Pokemon Go anymore.
Diabolical.
That's just what they did because they only wanted to deal with Facebook Messenger. So
I've caught people through the sharing of your recent catches on Shiny on Community Day, back when Community Day was, regional. I'd be like, why are they catching shinies at 2 a.m?
Yeah.
Where are they at? And then I would, screenshot it and send it.
Well, you can still do that, so.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But I'm just talking about, this was when it was regional.
Mm-hmm. There was, Reversal was actually calling people out for anyone that doesn't live in the U.S. that has a Bouffalante, because unless you drove from Canada, there's no way for you to get a Bouffalante unless you live in the U.S.
Yeah.
So any players outside of there that have a Bouffalante, you're spoofing.
Oh, man. That's difficult, too, because right now, the U.S. people who live in the U.S. can't leave.
Yeah, exactly. We can't leave, and I highly doubt they'll be coming in.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to come in here for Bouffalante, that's fine. I saw a story where a Japanese tourist got stuck in Peru for 7 months.
What?
Because he wanted to go to Machu Picchu. And the Peruvian government opened up Machu Picchu for him, specifically for him, just him and his guide or whatever. He's got the dude just like, "What's up? I'm in Machu Picchu," and there's nobody there but him.
Wow. If you got that money and you have that time to quarantine, geez,
Dude, I
man.
couldn't imagine being out of country for 7 months, just stuck somewhere.
Well, that's the good part about the internet, but even there's like limited internet and limited cell phone coverage.
Yeah, for real. I know. Whatever. But yeah, whatever, guy. Yeah. He said, "I'm going to Machu Picchu," and he got there. It just took him forever.
Maybe it was part of the Make-A-Wish Foundation things where he only had so much to live. So, hey,
Dude, I'm doing this. It's happening.
Okay, so the other part on here is, while there is early evidence suggesting that Pokemon Go may reduce negative mood, researchers found the same study found that playing Pokemon Go also improves some aspects of cognition, specifically working memory, the cognitive system that holds information temporarily. There are many components to working memory, but in the study, researchers have found that verbal working memory, information that pertains to letters and words, improved after playing Pokemon Go. Because you got to memorize like 500 different Pokemon, different attacks, all these little things going on around you. So,
dude, just trying to remember what is good against what.
Yep.
Burns my brain every time I'm trying to figure it out.
Oh, okay.
Especially.
I thought you were talking
like
about water for a second there, and was like,
no, like
burns your brain. Come on, man, you got to do better than that.
No, like, hold on, I gotta psychic grass. I better use a. Wait, fire's fine. Okay. Just that stuff. It's like, what do I use? And then when they mix fairy with stuff, that's what really gets me.
Well,
I'm like, oh
yeah,
man, why is fairy so hard to?
Well, in a way, I always go back to like the elemental or nature inputs from everything because you can kind of break it down from there. So, fairies or fantasy is broken down by the industrial age. Steel beats it.
Got it.
Fairies are always happy, but if it comes to a toxic personality, they get poisoned. I think fire technically resists fairy. I mean, fairy resist fire to some aspect because it's usually like wisps, flames, flame spirits, phoenix, that kind of thing, I think. Yeah. And then fairies take out dragon because they're competing mythical forces. That one's a stretch, but yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else you wanted to add on about the Psychology Today article?
No, I was going to mention about talking about improvement of your mood, but we covered that.
Okay. Yeah, part of me kind of feels that.
Yeah, no, this is. I didn't realize it was this short. It's only like 3 paragraphs.
Yeah, well, it's a magazine article, so
that makes sense.
Yeah, I used to read Psychology Today back in the day in high school, just as a random magazine that they had in the library. So just did that all the time. Man, I found it very interesting.
Yeah. They definitely have some cool stuff pop up in there. And they got some suspect stuff that they throw in there as well, but
Yeah. Oh, but also a random thought that may slightly disprove this is all the benefits of vitamin D. So they say that sunlight, vitamin D, that tends to help the spirit or help your mood, improve your health. Health is wealth. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that could be like a small niche that you can actually, okay, maybe it wasn't fully Pokemon Go, maybe it was actually the sunlight that they're actually getting as opposed to never being out and about.
Being outside definitely helps.
Mm-hmm.
Fresher air rather than just, could whatever, but
yeah. That could be one of those correlation doesn't mean causation
Yeah, but that's also saying if you weren't playing it, you would still be inside, whatever. So even though it's the vitamin D from the sun, it's still the fact that you used Pokemon Go to get outside.
Yeah.
I saw the they're talking about COVID. It was like, oh, these numbers are inflated because people are dying from other stuff, not COVID. They're dying from lung collapses and whatever it might be. And the doctor was like, look, I'm diabetic. If I get attacked by a bear and I go into diabetic shock because my blood system encounters it and the diabetic shock kills me, the bear is the reason I'm dead.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, so Pokemon Go is putting people outside for whatever reason that makes them happier. It might, even if it is because of the sun.
Mm-hmm.